So we're coming off what I like to call the hype job week, which is a week where everybody pretends that there was a lot of great boxing and that we saw something special. When in reality, I feel like it hurt the sport. Fights like Kell Brook versus Golovkin, they hurt boxing. Karras getting his 11th loss on HBO hurts boxing. Roman Gonzalez getting his face beaten in and getting another gift decision because he lost to Estrada, got the gift decision. He again lost to Quadras and got another gift decision. I'm not sure he's that good. I'm just not sold on this guy. Two of his belts were literally given to him in my view. So I don't know what to make of it. A lot of people will say Broner being a four division champion doesn't mean much. Like Dan Rafael said, Broner is not a is not a Hall of Famer because he's a four division champion. But then when Chocolatito became a four division champion, Rafael said Chocolatito is now a Hall of Famer because of his because he's a four division champion. Broners were probably more legitimate than Gonzalez. I don't know if people realize this. Broner actually won the fights that the titles were at stake. I thought Gonzalez lost Estrada, and again, I thought HBO was horrible. Eh, bad week for boxing. But this is actually a good week for boxing. This is one of those low key good weeks. We got boxing on Tuesday, on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. Starting Tuesday night, Fox Sports 1, Eddie Ramirez versus Kevin Watts. Eddie Ramirez, I believe, is 14-0, and Kevin Watts, I believe, is 11-0. They're both 24 years old. They've both been on TV, but usually they're the opening bout. Watts actually became a main eventer. He had an opening bout, and he was supposed to lose. I think he was fighting a Ukrainian. He was the substitute. He was supposed to lose, and he had a really good knockout, and he showed a lot of skills that they came out of nowhere. Um, Ramirez is, a blue chip prospect. Ramirez is supposed to win, and I'm a big Watts fan, but Ramirez probably will win this. On the undercard, it'll be Hernandez versus Urista. Not too familiar with them. Hernandez, I believe, is the A side, and he is supposed to win that fight. And we also get Rancis Barthelme's little brother making his television debut. And I've seen a couple of his knockouts. He actually is a pretty good fighter. That's on Fox Sports 1 on Tuesday. On Thursday, on CBS Sports Net, it'll probably be under Sports Spectacular. We get Dusty Hernandez versus Thomas Lamana. Dusty Hernandez is 29-0-1, but I thought he lost to Mike Dallas Jr. last time out on BET and got a gift decision. Thomas Lamana, he is 21-1. His loss actually was at middleweight, and this is a welterweight fight. His only loss was to Antoine Douglas. I think Lamana might. I think I'm picking Lamana for the upset. That's a pretty good fight. Random Thursday night on CBS Sportsnet. On Friday, I believe it'll be during the day, and it might actually have American television because it says BN. We get Yamanaka versus Moreno. I believe that's for the IBF 118-pound belt. This is a rematch. A lot of hipster boxing fans were really high on Yamanaka. I believe he was actually as high as number 9 pound for pound, like on the ring list. So he was a known guy. Moreno went there and he won. Moreno won to the point that a lot of Japanese fans were saying, "Oh, it was a draw," because they knew Yamanaka had not won that fight. Moreno won that fight. I think he'll win again, but once again he'll get cheated. Anselmo Moreno has actually had he's had one of those careers. He's a lot better than people realize. He has gotten the short end of the stick like two or three times that I've seen. Hugo Ruiz versus Hustle Goa is the undercard, and that might sound like a random fight, but Hugo Ruiz is actually the 122-pound WBC world champion. Guzman just won the IBF 122-pound championship in Japan, and now the WBC 122-pound championship is once again being fought for in Japan. You know, that was once a very heavily Mexican division, and now I see it moving to Japan. I'm not sure if it's for the money or because those fighters are becoming more dominant in that smaller division. But that's a good fight. I think Hugo Ruiz keeps his belt. Then we move to Sat, and that's actually on. There's no American TV that I see, but it says Bean, so it might be on Bean Espanol if you get lucky. Then also on Friday night, we got Ishe Smith versus Frank Galarza. Let's be honest, even I don't like that fight. It's an evenly matched fight. I'm picking Ishe to pull it out. I just find it pointless. I think we all can agree that's a pointless fight. The undercard for that, and this is the Bounce TV card on Friday, is Dominique Dalton versus Justin DeLoach. I believe Dominique Dalton is 14-0. I believe Justin DeLoach is 15-1. DeLoach is one of my favorite prospects. I actually made a mini highlight video because the kid's only 22 and he has 15 fights, only like 3 or 4 on television. So I made a mini highlight video on this channel. Deloach, you know, he knocked out Dylan Cook. That was a 50-50 fight. Cook was undefeated. He he dominated Castillo. Castillo was probably the favorite in that fight. I don't know if people are familiar with Castillo. Castillo was supposed to win that fight. Now he's fighting undefeated Dominique Dalton. So this is the third undefeated fighter Deloach will fight this year. If Deloach pulls it off, to me, Deloach deserves to be prospect of the year. Even though I don't believe he's the best prospect, he would have accomplished the most this year. So that's the Bounce TV card on Friday. This gets us to Saturday. The fight that is the reason I am a boxing fan. And it's not that Canelo versus Paul Williams shit or Paul Smith or Liam. It's Liam Smith. I'm talking about Glowacki versus Usyk, and I know that's not how you pronounce it. Usyk. I can't pronounce it, but it's Glowacki, undefeated WBO cruiserweight champion versus Usyk, a guy I can now pronounce. Most people consider him the best Ukrainian fighter. It's Lomachenko or it's Usyk. I know that's not how you pronounce it. I just cannot pronounce it. So both undefeated. You have an undefeated champion, and you have the best prospect in the world, and they are fighting in Poland, which is Glowacki's home turf. So Usyk has the courage to go to the other guy's home country. Al Heyman owns the USA rights to that fight. I'm very disappointed in him that he didn't even at least start on NBC Sports. Let us see what, in my view, is the second best fight this year. I got it Ward versus Kovalev and Glowacki versus Usyk. It's just an embarrassing. So you're gonna have to stream that. It's from Poland, so I'm not even sure if you're gonna be able to find like a live stream on one of the major sites. Hopefully there's something available. And we get to the shit. We have Diego De La Hoya versus Luis Davalia. I've never heard Davalia. Joseph Diaz versus Andrew Cancio. Never heard of Cancio. In the co-main event of the pay-per-view, we have Gabriel Rosado versus Willie Monroe Jr. That is a great Showtime Extreme fight. I'll leave it at that. Canelo Alvarez versus Liam Smith is the main event. Okay, look. I get every fight cannot be Chavez versus Pernell, Tito versus Oscar, Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo, Hagler Hearns. I really do get it. I wish that the boxing world worked in a way where Canelo could just fight evenly matched opponents. But I don't think people realize Canelo versus Clottey was a done deal for December last year. The only reason we did not get Clottey versus Canelo is because Canelo got hurt. Clottey went on to lose to Rosado. So I get that you're going to give us garbage, but Amir Khan was garbage. Amir Khan Canelo was garbage, and there's pay per view. Canelo versus Smith is garbage, and it's again pay per view. This is in my city, and it's been tormenting me whether I should go because if I go, I'll feel like I'm saying it's okay to feed us garbage. And Smith versus Canelo is not an embarrassing fight. It's just really stupid when you have Golovkin versus Canelo and coming off of Amir Khan versus Canelo. This I hate that this is what most people will focus on. Watts versus Ramirez, Dalton versus Deloach on Bounce TV, and Glowacki versus Usyk are clearly three better fights this week. But just because Canelo has a name, this will be the fight everyone will talk about.